Okay, guys, how's she going today? So, yeah, I didn't get much done today. Well, I got a little bit of my stuff done today. The young guy never showed up. He was supposed to either bring the big John Deere down or the old timers 986 to finish the work on the field, because the 1586 is down right now. Minor problem. When we'll get it fixed, I don't know. One guy on YouTube said it would be an easy fix. Yeah, it probably would be, but the thing is the only tool that I don't have would be the torque wrenches to properly torque everything. So that's why I can't do it. I can easily get one, but not a problem. I just don't have one as of right now. So, yeah. Oh, it is hot in the shop. When it's a hot day like this, you just don't feel like wearing a lot of work clothes, you know? It's like, I've been wearing work clothes all day. You know, blue jeans, work boots. I bought this brand new shirt yesterday. Frickin' right. You gonna read it? Frickin' right. Bought it yesterday. So, got it on sale. So, but yeah, I went and looked at the field today and yesterday. But today, about 99.9% of the grass and the weeds in that field are dead. The only ones that are not dead are the ones that are still, the ones that are still standing. They never got ripped out. So, but the second time they'll get fucking ripped out. So, yeah. I think I almost need to mow again, but I don't want to because it's still brown. The only thing that grows like a son of a bitch are the fucking dandelions. Stupid. And I'm not just going to mow this section to kill the damn dandelions. I probably could just hit it with a trimmer, but screw it. They're probably not going to grow too much longer anyway. Another couple of weeks maybe and they'll be done. But yeah, I didn't get a video up today. Because I just didn't have no videos to upload. I made one video yesterday, but it didn't really turn out the greatest. And I was like, no one's going to watch that. So I was like, fuck it. So, there's a bug crawling on me. Get off me. Fucking, I don't know what kind of bug that was, but it was black, whatever the hell it was. Beetle, I think it was. So, I missed the weed. Oh well. I sprayed a little bit. I'm getting low on the Roundup. I sprayed a little bit of the dike on our side of the land the last couple of days. There's just so goddamn many of them. I swear, guys, you'd probably need at least 50 gallons of just Roundup, you know, and then mix that in with water, obviously, but you need like 50 gallons of it. And I probably only had about maybe a gallon and a half or 2 gallons that I bought over the winter. And I burned through that like a son of a bitch. The only thing that's left now is might be about 6 ounces left in that big tank, that 1.5 gallon jug. But I'm going to save that for my yard because that's what I'm going to mix up for next year. Because I got a little bit of Roundup left in my sprayer here for the yard, but that was last year's Roundup, so I see it's still working though, because I sprayed these weeds yesterday and they are getting a little bit burnt now. So, yeah, there's weeds right here. I sprayed them yesterday and they're dead. So, I also sprayed some trees, you know, like little branchy things. They're looking kind of burnt. So. But yeah, I was hoping that the young guy would show up today. So I made another round on the field. He called me Saturday. I think it was Saturday he called me. And he said, well, I don't know if I'll be coming down. No, it was Friday. It was Friday when he showed up. Yeah. Friday he showed up. I said, okay, well, I don't know if I'll be back Saturday. He never showed up Saturday. And of course, he's never going to show up on a Sunday. Even I don't want to work on a Sunday. And he didn't show up Monday. which was today. So I was kind of hoping for at least one more round in the field, but never got it. But at least the weeds are getting baked on. So the weeds are burnt, from being dried out in the sun like that. Oh, especially when we get the days where it's 90 out. We've had a couple days that it was about 90 out, 93 probably. So yeah, that's gonna kill some weeds that are not in the ground and they're not getting moisture. So, but I got a feeling he'll show up tomorrow, which is not good for me because I got a doctor appointment tomorrow. So I can't. If he comes, he comes. He's gonna be on his own, So not much I can do about it. And I got a couple of stories here. One I might need your guys' help on. I might be able to find it on my own. If you guys know that John Deere cultivator that I pulled out of the weeds, okay, I got stupid and decided to pull it with Big Red. Now, Big Red don't like it. But here's the kicker. It has the two levers on there, okay, and each one would would control one half of the cultivator. So like you could put the left side down and leave the right side up. So basically, if you were like getting into a wet spot and you just wanted to get as close as you could into the wet spot without getting totally stuck, you could lift one side up. But my grandpa's got it hooked up so where she got the rope or that piece of wire across it. So when you pull on the main rope, it'll pull both levers. Okay, so I was pulling both the levers, obviously because they're tied together. And only one side was dropping at first. I was like, well, okay, that's not a big deal. The four-wheeler didn't seem to mind that too much. But the thing is, too, is that Big Red's drawbar was down so far, so the cultivator was kind of on an angle, while the back tines weren't doing anything. So it was the front ones that were ripping. And just the front tines alone, we're seriously raping the shit out of my garden. I have massive chunks in my garden, which is a good thing. It means I can break the ground up and let it dry out and all this kind of crap. So, but then it started acting goofy. It's like, okay, I want this side to come up, so I told it to come up. Okay, so it pulls up one, and then the other side kicks down. It drops down. And it kind of just kept going back and forth. And then when I would try to tell it to come up, then one would only come up or the other would come up. They would never both come up at the same time. So I got one side still stuck in the ground. It's like, well, I'm not going to keep dragging it because I'm tired because the pulling in the, because I have that steel wire on there and that burns your fingers. This whole entire hand's burnt right now. Probably should have put some gloves on, but I'm thinking I'm going to switch that cable over to a rope. Get like a 3,500 pound winch rope. Just cut it. That'd be fine. This would be easier on the fucking fingers. But the thing is, I gotta get it out in the big field because I don't get enough time to really experiment with it in the garden. And this is another thing too. It's like there's already, to me, it seemed like there was 3 different notches of where it would kick in. Like it would kick in, and it would kick down more, and then it would kick up. So there's like an up, down, and then there's some in between. So I don't understand it. So if you guys could find me a video explaining how those kind of things work, let me know. So I don't really get a chance to experiment with it, like I said, because the gardens are so small that I don't get enough time to, see what it's doing behind me. Because I gotta look what's in front of me, because if I keep going straight, I'm gonna hit something. And yeah, and I can't get the one side to come up. And if it does come up, well, then the other side kicks down, or they both go down. And I don't know what the handles, like to screw in and out, I don't really know what they do. I thought they were in a depth control, how deep it goes. Well, if I knew how they exactly work, because I think right now, if you go one way with it, that's screwing it in, and that's pulling the tines up. So I don't know if really what that does, if that is an angle adjustment or if it's a height adjustment. I don't know what it is. I took it as it was a height adjustment, so I put it all the way up, and it doesn't go that deep in the ground. Like, it goes in the ground good enough to where I think I would just leave it, because it's going deep enough. Like, it's the tines themselves, like the ones that did go into the ground. As of right now, I know when I was pulling behind Big Red, the front ones were buried. But it needs to be hooked up to the 1586 because I can get the drawbar a little bit more level, and it's still going to be a little bit wonky, so I know that the rear tines are going to be a lot deeper in the ground than the front woods. I mean, I don't know what you could do besides make some kind of a custom drawbar for the 1586 so you could get it, you know, perfect. Like, what you would have to do is get a hammer strap and basically bolt the thing upside down, like underneath the drawbar, and then to get your gap, you know, the printer set it, you would have to use some washers, and then use washers in the pins as well, so you can get your adjustment right. I did find I think someone was saying to get a cleavage pin. Well, actually, I think they're called D-rings. From what the internet tells me, they're actually called D-rings. So I ordered one for Big Red, but I'm not going to be pulling the cultivator with Big Red because Big Red don't like it too much. I want to see if it'll fit on the 1586. I don't know. It's still a 3/4 inch, which is what Big Red's drawbar is. That's what the pin will fit in there anyway. That pin that I bought for him, that's a 3/4. So it fits. So that's what this D ring is too. So, but it seems like it has a wider mouth on it. But I don't know if it's wide enough. I don't know, because I think these are all the same too. Yeah, see, I think that's the same one right here. So I probably just ordered one for no reason, because I think this right here, well, it says 3/4 on there, but see, the thing is that the pin's too big, so I don't know if the pin will be too big on that or what, but I won't know until that D-ring shows up. But if it's too damn big, the bolt is what's too damn big. I don't know what I'm going to do. I'd have to switch over to some kind of a pin and put a pin in there that would fit. I don't know what else to do, because the new stuff will not match up with the old stuff. You know, that's the problem. And no one apparently can find another hitch that's on that cultivator that I have now. Wow. I'm sure they would be very freaking hard to find. You know, you'd have to have one basically custom made. And someone was recommending, someone told me what they were and told me to go get like a new one. The new ones will not fit because it's a totally different setup. So I've looked online. They don't make them like that. So the only thing I could ever do is put some money aside, take the old one off, go to a metal shop place and see if they could exactly custom make me a new one or another one. Well, it would be a new one. But they wouldn't have to paint it or anything, let it rust, because fuck it, it's going to rust anyway. You know, the paint will just wear off after a while, so why even bother, you know? Well, that'll allow it to act like a clip or like a hammer strap. So then I could use a damn standard pin and not worry about the pin popping out. Because I know that my 3/4 inch pin that I have on Big Red, I know that will fit the tractor's drawbar, you know, like the 1586, because it's much smaller. I think it would still take the abuse, but I don't really know what else to do. So, but I did find a smaller D-ring, like a really old one. I got some here, I guess. I put one on there just so if we had to move it, we could. They're strong enough to move it, but I tried using that to pull it in the ground. It took it, but it started bending after a while. It started bending. It's rustless and bent. Just a little bit, though. Not too bad, so. But, yeah, I don't know. It's hard to find stuff that will work for what I want to use that thing for. What I would like to do is somehow make a custom, like, it would be nice to make a custom hitch for that thing, but it's just too much money, so. Another thing I'd like to do, probably not going to do it right now, but maybe in the future. I don't know. I gotta see, the thing is, like I said, I can't figure it out why it's doing it. You know, dropping one end and not dropping the other. It always seems like it takes turns, and I don't know why. I was like, I'm not familiar with how that works. You think if you pull both of them back, the whole thing would drop. Why is only one half dropping? It seemed like the chain was slipping, but I don't know if that's how it's supposed to be, or because it sounds like it's slipping, but when I kind of watch it, I don't know, it kind of looks like it's slipping a little bit, but the chain's tight, so it can't be slipping. It's tighter than it needs to be, probably. So, I don't know. The only way I'm ever going to be able to really test that damn thing is I got to get it on another tractor and get it out in the big field. So, but another thing I probably would like to do, it's not something I wanted to do, but I think maybe I had to put a hydraulic cylinder on that bitch, because pulling that wire is a pain in the ass. You know, and you got a lot of resistance there when you're trying to pull those two rods. There's a lot of, you know, it's like trying to lift heavy weights. It's hard to pull it. But what I was thinking of maybe doing was just mounting the cylinder down by the drawbar, kind of like I'd need maybe a really long cylinder, or a short cylinder would probably do. I don't know. It's just you need a hydraulic ram. Making like a custom holder for it, and then when I want to lift it, I'll pull the cylinder in, and that'll pull on the cable. Maybe I'll put a chain there or a steel cable to manually lift it and lower it. You know, and then retract the cylinder back out to release it, because it'd be hard to pull on it. It's like, so I don't want. I mean, I could probably put cylinders on both of them, and I could probably activate them separately, but I guess it wouldn't be a bad idea. But then you're just spending more money on hoses and cylinders and ends. Holy shit! Slow it down. Slow it down, buddy. So. Might be a thing that I do in the future is maybe just put a hydraulic cylinder on it. Definitely will not be able to pull it behind the John Deere, because that's definitely nowhere near enough power. So it's got the hydraulic remotes on there, but it's got the the plugins on it. But no, there'd have to be bigger ones for the 1586. I would like to find, if I had the money, I would like to find a smaller tractor. Like a 400 or a Super H or Super M, but with hydraulics. Even just one hydraulic remote on it. Now the young guys got a Super M, I think. They think it's a Super M or a Super H, and it's got one hydraulic remote on it. So that's what I need. You know, for one, to pull the cultivator, and two, to activate it for up and down by hydraulics. So, you know, and I think the cultivator just works so awesome for ripping. It's unbelievable. They got the mid-mount mower on their New Holland. That's a first. I guess they kind of want to get some use out of it. They don't really use it too much. So, but yeah. I know the one guy said that cultivator wasn't really going to work for what I wanted to use it for. Really, it's not really going to be used like you would think. Like it was probably used back in the day. See, back in the day, my grandpa actually used that cultivate his big field. Well, back then it was a lot smaller. Now it's a little bit bigger, and I'm going to continue to make it bigger, but I'm not going to be able to go too much bigger with it. So, that cultivator is small. It's only a 9-footer, but I really just wanted to use it on the gardens to break the gardens up for the first year, or for the first time for the year. I wasn't going to use it all the time. And another thing it would be used for is really just a play toy, just to play around with it. Because I wanted to see what it was like to pull the old rope kind of type, devices. Well, this is a son of a bitch is tight, so son of a bitch is tight. I got one bolt that's loose, and I keep forgetting. Well, it's just a support thing, but I probably should tighten it. But one of these days I will. But I don't know. Overall, it seems like it'd be a good cultivator. The one guy said, like I said, he said it wouldn't be very good for some jobs. It'd be fine. It's not like I want a tilled garden. I want a tilled garden, but I need a tiller for that. But to break it up for the first time, which is what I do even with that little 8-foot cultivator that I have. Yeah, this big John Deere is only about a foot bigger. I'll have to measure it again, but I'm pretty sure it was only a foot bigger than what I'm pulling now. But this son of a bitch is a lot heavier. So, but I don't know. It would definitely need to be worked on a little bit more, So I would definitely like to get a smaller tractor, but money is the issue right now. So put it on the back of the 15 is probably the best it'll get. So and that's another thing too is the big John Deere cultivator, that big 20-footer. Well, for one, that's not mine, so I really can't be touching that whenever I feel like it. And another thing too is that it's got the wrong ends on it. My friend, the young guy, he's got Pioneer couplers, International couplers. Then he's got John Deere couplers. I think apparently back in the day that every company had their own set of couplers. But then they found out that it was too much of a pain in the ass for a lot of people from when they went, if they had all International equipment and they wanted to go buy a John Deere tractor, they couldn't hook an International attachment up to a John Deere tractor because the couplers are different. So then they either had to replace the ends with John Deere ends, or you had to get adapters. But apparently from what he says, now everything's going over to Pioneer, so basically any tractor can hook up to any attachment and you can just go with it. But this equipment is still all original, it's not set to Pioneer or International. So I think it's actually set to John Deere. I'm not sure, but I don't know. There's a lot of different kind of couplers out there, and I don't know. To me, I think I'd probably just switch it all over to Pioneer and be done with it and never have to worry about it, And at least if you break an end, you can just go to one of your other pieces of equipment that you're not using right now and steal that adapter, or that end and go put it on there. As long as the hose size is the same. So, but yeah, I mean overall that cultivator I used, it's gonna need some minor work yet, and I don't know what the hell's going on with it. It's not wanting to exactly work. Speed may be an issue, because I really can't get going, because the gardens are too damn small, and it's not a constant speed like it would be from a tractor, so, maybe that's making it act funny. I don't know what the hell's wrong with it. You think that since it's hooked up to pull both levers at the same time, they should both drop. So, I don't know. And since the drawbar, I can change the drawbar on the cultivator to raise it up a little bit more, just by moving the thing down. But I have it all the way up. Well, that's the way I found it, but I think that's the way it would have to be to hook up to the big tractor. But that's how you can level it off too, is by adjusting your hitch on the cultivator. So it's never going to be perfect until I can fine tune everything. Well, I can't fine tune nothing until I can get it hooked up to the big tractor and get it out in the big field. But see, we're going to be planting stuff in there, so that's going to be a pain in the ass to do later on. So unless you leave, well, I could probably just go break new ground somewhere else and just play with that. But I don't know. Maybe I could tell them to leave me a strip. But then you'd have to work that all summer too, just to keep the fucking weeds out. I don't know. So I don't know, but so that's what's going on with that. Did a little bit of playing with the John Deere cultivator. It just wasn't really going very well. Like I said, it acts a little bit funny, so not too sure what's up with that, but after it's sitting for a lot of years and stuff like that, it may have something to do with it. But then I'm not sure how those things work either. So I don't know if there would be a video on YouTube about them things or what. I actually have a picture of one. And I know it's a John Deere because for one, it says it's got green paint on it. And on one of my old calendars I had from a few years ago, had a picture of that same cultivator hooked up to a John Deere 6030, or a 630, I mean. So, you know, one of the old Johnny Poppers. So yeah. But that doesn't tell me anything, you know, doesn't tell me how to use it. So, I don't know if there would be a video on that thing or what. I wish I could get the fucking model number of that cultivator. I suppose I'd have to try to Google it in such a way from, you know, put like 1940s John Deere, you know, pull lever type cultivator kind of things, you know. I'd have to put something like that just to try to find any information on it. So, yeah. But anyways, I'm going to give you guys a land update as well. I just talked to the ex-mayor. He just flagged me down right, I don't know, about an hour ago, half an hour ago, whatever. And this says, what the hell does this say? 27 minutes. So, yeah, probably about half an hour ago, 40 minutes ago, whatever. He flagged me down and he says that apparently the construction company here, well, they're cutting sections in the road, so they plan on taking sections out, but I guess they're only doing it where the culverts are at. So apparently this road, I'm not too sure about that road, but no, there ain't no culverts on that road anyway. But this road here's got culverts on it, which is, you know, this main road here. They're going to put new culverts in all the way to the end of town. So they're going to be ripping up sections of the road. But I guess they also have to go back over there, and they got to dig some dirt out of the ground. So I guess they're going to be down there with the cat anyway. So the ex-mayor told me that he's going to have those people push the dirt off our property. He says that the little one, they're going to push that 50 feet ahead, you know, off our land, and then the other one they're going to push that right into the pond. That big one that's on our property right now. They're both on our property, but you know, that little one wouldn't take very long to do it, but that big one would be a job. But apparently they're going to do it next week sometime, because that's when, I guess apparently that's when they got to start hauling dirt for whatever, and yeah, they're going to clean it up, and the ex-mayor said that he'd pay for it because they're not really charging a heck of a lot. So apparently he'll pay for it, and we're not going to have to pay a cent for it. So that's good. Not going to be no big deal who does it as long as it gets freaking done, as long as it's off our property. So at least they were able to come up with some kind of a deal and work it out and whatever. So yeah. So that's what's going on. And then I believe in August, if I remember correctly, our main roads are going to get... Really? You had to do it now? Freaking bitch. We're going to get all new roads. We're going to have repaved roads. Won't last because the big 18-wheelers just fucking destroy them, but whatever. But yeah, our roads probably could get some repaving done because they got a lot of cracks in them and shit. I don't know if they're gonna rip them up and put new ones down, or they're just gonna pave over the old ones. I don't think it would make much sense to pave over the old one because the old one's just gonna push up on the new one and it's gonna crack. I'd say take the bitch out and put a new one in. You know, that means we'll have to change our route, but no big deal. I got my own driveways. So yeah, so it's gonna be a busy year, I guess, this year. We're gonna get all new culverts put in town on this main road here anyway. We're gonna get that dirt pushed off our land, and then possibly in August. Well, he said in August anyway. They're gonna repave the roads. I'm not sure who's paying for all this to get it done. I don't know if the state's paying for it or if the town is, but so yeah, I don't know. I was pretty sure though. I thought a couple of years ago over there, where I turned down to go down to the farm there, I could have swore they put a new culvert in there, but maybe it was too weak and it broke. I don't know. So maybe they're gonna upgrade and put heavier ones in. I don't know what else is gonna go on, but they already cut the road in those sections, and I guess they're gonna rip them up. Probably next week, I suppose. I don't really know, but he said anyway next week sometime they're gonna be pushing that dirt off because they're gonna have to go back there anyway and dig dirt. So I suppose whenever they're done digging, it's probably when they'll go push it off if they don't forget. But they'll probably forget because they're gonna be so damn focused on getting the roads and shit like that done. But so yeah, so it's gonna be a busy year, I guess, for the town, which I guess is fine. It's gonna be might be a it won't be a pain in the ass, I guess, for the guy that's got to cut the hay, but if they start in August, yeah, they might not need, well, it might take them a month to do that road, but I don't know, only time will tell. So that's going to be probably a lot of interesting videos for you guys to see some road construction going on, so that'll be interesting. And then getting dirt off our land, and yeah, so. And then gotta play around with the John Deere cultivator some more, but I'm gonna wait a while. So, but when both sets go in the ground from that John Deere cultivator, then Big Red can't pull it. He really starts to struggle. So, which is kind of funny because you think it'd be easier to pull it because it's on wheels. But then the damn thing's also a lot heavier too, so I guess there's some good and bads about it. The other one that I pull is on skids, so it'll skid around. It's still heavy, but it's lighter than that big John Deere 9-foot. So I don't know. Both I like the one with the wheels anyway. The John Deere, because I can back up with it. I can back up if I need to. Whereas with this one, I'm stuck to going. I have to keep going forwards. And if I get stuck or something, I have to unhook and try to get out, and then pull the cultivator out. So that's kind of a pain in the ass. The little cultivator. So, but yeah. Anyways, I'm gonna probably take off, guys. Try to upload this video and try to edit tonight and upload it, and then we'll be ready for you guys for tomorrow. If I don't forget or I'm not busy. So, still got to finish the gate project. I haven't done anything really with it. I still got to put that extra reinforcement thing on there. But it's getting to be that time of the year where things are just getting a little bit more busier than they need to be. So, it's a good thing that they are. But we're late in the year now. So, but yeah, I suppose, guys, I'm going to take off and go take care of some other stuff. And, yeah. So anyways, guys, I guess I'm going to take off. So I guess have a good day and stuff. So yeah. Thanks for watching, guys. Take her easy.